What's going on, everybody? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and this is my show, Uncut Astrology, where I take the astrology and give you a weekly forecast, raw and uncut, and without any of the masks or the BS. And this is for the week of September 22nd through the 29th of 2015. Big reminder. We are in between eclipses, and we do have an eclipse coming this week, the final eclipse of this eclipse pattern. So remember, we are in Fate Train City. Whoop whoop. That means extreme destined moments, extreme fate, karma, whatever you want to call it. It feels like there is magic or weirdness or eeriness in the air. And also remember, Saturn has just entered Sagittarius, where it will be for the next couple years. And Saturn is a big deal if you don't know in astrology. He does rule the time. He is the hand on the watch where we are at in time and space. And we have now moved into the next hour or chapter in our lives, however you want to look at it. Next new title. And so if you're just watching me for the first time, or if you're sharing this to others who have never really been into astrology, we have all been through a massive shift point in our lives within the last couple weeks. And this week is a major, I don't want to say full finalization, but it is a major transitional aspect to a last couple week cycle that has truly shifted our lives into a whole new direction. I really don't know where to begin. Well, first of all, I want to start with this. The sun enters Libra, and that happens on Wednesday, and this is big because we call this the equinox periods. This is where we literally shift seasons, and it's so interesting to see that the north and the south node are at the equinox positions with the sun highlighting it. So it's almost like Wednesday the 23rd is a major day of transition in our life as we are here to now rebalance our life and focus on this new karmic destiny, this old life we're leaving. You know, the south node at 0 degrees of Aries to me is leaving an old ego, leaving an old identity, leaving the last bit of ourselves that wants, that needs, that desires this part of our life that is not bringing us harmony and balance anymore. And so we are having to step into finding that harmony. We are having to step into finding that balance in our life. And so we are going to be here for the next 30 days. Remember, we're in the middle of a Mercury retrograde in Libra. So a lot of Libra energy is coming in now. It's the sign of balance. It's the sign of harmony. It's the sign of relationships. Relationships are about to get extreme. Add to that, Venus and Uranus are in a trine, which means Venus and Uranus are making a positive aspect. This means unexpected relationships coming together. People you thought that couldn't come back. Explosions, excitement, radical energy. It's very exciting. Can also be scary, though, if you're not ready for it, if you're not prepared for anything that crazy to happen. But relationships are going to be a major focal point. And I think communication in relationships this week is important. We do have Mercury squaring Pluto, which means that there is some deep, dark residue from the past, from our fears, that we need to Windex or clean this week. I think that this is a powerful time for us to not be so scared and to learn to face our fears and to learn to find that harmony and balance. And you know, some of it could be off contemplation or weighing things out too long instead of, remembering you have a plan and you have a rhythm and you have, a certain way about that you can do life. And if you just do it instead of hang on the fence or you over calculate or you overweigh out situations that are already figured out, it's like there's so much positive actually happening around the universe that our pea-sized brains can ruin it all. We can really, become destabilized right now because Pluto is about to come direct this week. And Pluto, when it stations and moves forward, it literally stops. And Pluto is the farthest planet. It is the longest planet to station. And so this is another major turning point in our lives where there's a major rebirthing happening. There's a major change in the structure of our life happening, and we are feeling destabilized while we're going through it. It's just this Libra energy coming in. It's Mercury retrograde in Libra squaring this, and it almost feels like, getting on a ship off the dock. It's like, whoa, and we're changing into this new ship in our life. And it's okay, and you don't need to be afraid of it. You are learning to adjust to the new transitions. I mean, Saturn has come into Sagittarius. Mars this week leaves Leo okay, where it's been competitive and it's been fiery and it's been helping us kind of have that extra courage when we didn't have it. But now it comes into Virgo, where it becomes analytical, where it becomes critical, and it makes an exact square to Saturn. We have to be careful this week, because even though we're coming into these new waters, we have to learn to take that extra moment, that extra step, to make sure that it's the right door to open, that we're getting all of our ducks in a row, that we're not, taking actions off a whim. Mars square Saturn wants you to take time and wants you to have a plan and wants you to make sure that you're not just going out there and doing something wrong. I'll never forget a Mars square Saturn when we had Mars in Aquarius, square Saturn in Scorpio a couple years back, and Alex Jones went on CNN and blasted Piers Morgan and said all this crazy stuff, and they made him look like a crazy man. Mars square Saturn requires you to watch what you're doing with your actions, to watch what your ego is doing. This is also the South Node in Aries at the strongest position of Aries, literally the start point. So when you see this, this is bringing up ego, last minute dashes or last minute needs or last minute, not paying attention to things while you're just driving the semi-truck forward when you're already fearful with the Mercury square Pluto. The Pluto is stationing, making things feel eerie. We're in the middle of eclipses, which is already feeling seriously crazy. And there's this huge new change of Libra, which is needing to find stability and some sort of balance through intellectually or through in your relationships. So there's this kind of extreme aspect coming towards this week, and Mars in Virgo is all about learning to, get your ducks in a row, get a rhythm flowing, stay busy, but make sure that you're opening the right doors. Saturn in Sagittarius is teaching us to be wiser, to research more, to open up all the perceptions, to look that there are more options than just the one that's right in front of you. Mars in Virgo tends to always focus on one little thing. It's like, we need to clean this house, okay? So get this and get that and get this and get that. And it's going to start to feel even more busy when we already felt like it already was so busy for the last couple months and so much is happening. We have a lunar eclipse, which I want to end this whole entire deal with, which is the main event. We have a lunar eclipse in Aries and Libra, a full moon in Aries, with the South Node in Aries, with a Mars square Saturn. This is a huge ending, a huge let go of who we once were. This can go as far back as the last 9 years, since the last time the nodes had flipped with Aries. This can go back to a whole lifetime, your whole lifetime, a feeling like there's a part of your ego dying now. This is a massive last ego death, so we can move into this new chapter. The past is over. The last 3 years is over. We are at this in-between space, this in-between of you moving into the new chapter in your life, and it feels eerie when you're in between. It feels kind of like we're in, Christians would call it purgatory a little bit. And this full moon lunar eclipse is literally the end of the purgatory. It is the finalization. It is the freeing aspect. And we got to remember to let go of our ego, let go of ourselves. But remember, we need strength. We need to identify with what is our true self, though. So even with an ego death must be a new ego reborn. There's no other way that the universe works. There's always a rebirth with any death. And there's a need that you need to see this week, that this is about you birthing the new you that has been in a massive cocoon for a long time, that has been waiting a long time to be rebirthed. While we're being destabilized, I think a lot of the fear comes at the beginning of the week, in the middle of the week, and I think by the time we reach the weekend, I think we're actually very excited. I think we're excited for this energy. Mars square Saturn, at the middle of the week too, so it's more like this eclipse is going to be very positive. A lot of people are very afraid of this eclipse, thinking it's the end of the world. People are predicting all these, crazy aspects. It literally is the end of your old world and the beginning of a fresh new start for you, and a fresh new beginning, and a fresh new ego, and a fresh new self that's one more in alignment with harmony, in alignment with the right kind of partners that mirror yourself correctly. We're all messing up with the partnership role, trust me. Mercury retrograde in Libra. We all are realizing and bringing back relationships and realizing who we really do align with. We might align with people, right? Align with parts of ourself. That's all a relationship is just a part of ourself being mirror reflected back. But we might be feeling like, oh my God, why did I mirror this person in my life? Oh God, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that. This full moon lunar eclipse is all about that. This is a total eclipse. It's going to be, you're going to be able to see this one. Depends on where you're at in the world, of course. Check your local NASA website. But, this is with Pluto coming direct as well, a massive change point. This is it. The only last thing that's happening is, next week and the week after, Mercury will finish its retrograde. And once that's done on October 9th, I'll be honest with you, we're pretty much gung-ho city. We're going to have the nodes change into Libra and to Virgo and Pisces. We're at the change point. I'm sure you can feel it. Just know that there's still a little bit of that purgatory left, that little kind of feeling in between worlds. But this lunar eclipse is going to pull it forward and push things forward. Mars square Saturn is about facing that you need work to do, that you need to get a plan going, that you need to be positive, that you need to be optimistic. And at the end of the day, this is about being optimistic. At the end of the day, this is about being, truly empowered in yourself. At the end of the day, this is about you letting go and ready to move forward and not letting fear and doubt and the past hold you anymore. And in many ways, in the background of all this is all this Neptune retrograde and Chiron in Pisces, right? Retrograding, which is remembering you that you can clean, you can be reborn, you can dip yourself in your own holy water and clean yourself of whatever you feel like in your life. And so I pray, and I know in my heart that you will make it through this week with a great amount of energy, with a great amount of love. And I know in my heart that you can move into this next chapter and find that happiness and find those relationships and find that positivity and find those doors that you've been looking for. It's going to take some work, it's going to take some research, but more importantly, it's going to take you getting into a rhythm and a flow to make it happen. And sitting stagnant or sitting still or sitting in a lost world isn't going to get you there. You're forced to step up to the plate now in your life. This is the week to step up, not be fearful, and move forward into this, because that Venus in Leo is finishing up, building love and building relationships and building a self-love and a self-value of self that is so powerful that it's here to love yourself brighter than ever. And if you don't love yourself, this is also Mars on top of Regulus. This is time to battle cries, battle roars for your victory in your life. The only way to be victorious, though, is courage and being a diplomat and not starting wars and knowing how to win the battle through your intellect, through letting yourself be born into your brightest and new self. So anyways, I did a special video, Saturn and Sagittarius. It should be up by tonight, by Wednesday. So it's for all 12 signs if you want to download it. I did an awesome video for each of the signs about what's going to happen for the next 2 years with Saturn and Sagittarius. It's on my website, inclusiveastrology.com, for download, or you can actually go through the Leo King and click on products and get it through there as well. But you are not going to want to miss that video. And if you want to be with me every day on my applications or my premium website to get videos like this every day, daily astrology videos and your sun sign horoscopes and the weekly tarot and the weekly intuitive reading, get all that at leoking.lookstack.com or on the Apple or Android stores. Thank you so much for all your support. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I am sending you lots of love, lots of light, lots of positive energy from the Leo King Studios in Orange County, California, and I will see you on the next report.